What happened?
We lost to Comoros for the second time.
Yeah, but Blackstars couldn't put a ball in the net. The Thursday performance was not that good, was it?
It wasn't. And that's what caused for more concern today, because in the second half, the performance was a bit okay. So people were expecting the lineup for the second half for the Comoros game, but he went back to the lineup for the first half, which was
I read that. I read that when the game started. Why did he not start with Mohamed Kudus?
Mohamed Kudus, he had an injury concern, a back injury concern, so he was a doubt for the game. So that's why he wasn't risked in the first half. But when things became tougher, they decided to risk it in the second half.
Is it true that Captain Ayew didn't play well?
He didn't play well. And it's all because of his fitness. He's not been regular. He's not played any match this season. He recently got a club in France, and he's not played a single game this season so far. So it's about his fitness. He's not fit at the moment, and it showed clearly in the first half.
He couldn't run?
He couldn't make any runs. He couldn't tackle. It was very clear. He wasn't physical. He couldn't do anything really in the first half. We were almost like a man down in the first half. He didn't really play well.
Where's Thomas Partey?
Thomas is still injured. He's still even doubtful for the AFCON, because we are hearing his injury might come back in January, but we are not sure about that.
AFCON is when?
It's in January. Normally when he comes, he must get match fitness before he will even be available to play a football match. That's why he's even doubtful for the AFCON. But we are hoping. Yeah.
So what does that leave us on the table?
Okay, so I don't know if they'll put it on the screen. At the moment, we have 3 points, but the group leaders are Comoros. They have 6 points from 2 games. They've won all their 2 games.
Comoros have won both of their first games.
Yes, they've won.
Who was the first game they played?
Their first game was Central African Republic.
Oh, and they beat them comfortably.
And they beat them by 4-2. And their second game was Ghana, and they beat Ghana 1-0. So they played 2 games at home. They played and they won all those 2 games. So this is the group standing at the moment. Comoros has 6 points, Mali 4 points, Ghana 3 points, Madagascar 3 points, Central Africa 1, and Chad 0 points.
How many teams are qualifying out of here?
Only 1 team will qualify. So there are 9 groups, and 9 teams will qualify out of those groups to the World Cup. Because Africa now has automatic qualification slots of 9. And the second place teams in all the 9 groups will now go and play a playoff. And the winner of that playoff will also now go and play the continental playoff to see if they can win that.
The second in all the 9?
Yeah, the runners up in all the 9
teams
groups.
Again?
Yeah, so 9 teams again.
They'll play what?
They'll play a playoff
that
amongst them.
All play all?
A tournament will be organized amongst them. We don't know how that will be organized, whether they will be put in groups or
then there'll be one winner.
Knockout. And there'll be one winner. And that winner will now go and play the intercontinental playoff, where they'll play with other representatives from other continents. Asia.
So for us to avoid that, we need to top this group.
That's automatic qualification. That's you top the group, you win the group. That's the only way you can qualify.
Let's do a permutation now. So how many games are left?
At the moment, we have about, I think it's about 20 games that they'll play. These 6 teams, you have to play each other. So they are playing it in a league format. So our next game will be
10 games we're playing there.
Yes. So our next game will be with Mali. That will be in March. Then
at home?
No, we'll go to Mali first before Mali will come here. And
is it the same weekend? We go there, they come here the same
weekend?
No,
they are playing the league format. So we'll play everyone before they will play the return legs in the league format. So that's how it's being played. So at the moment, Comoros have played 2 home games, and Mali have also played 2 home games.
But their next game is a home game again, Mali?
Yes. I think the second is the home game is an away game. It's the second in that fixture, because in every fixture we have 2 games in every week, in every international fixture.
So our next game is Mali in March.
Yes.
Then what do we do?
And then so right now we have to try and the thing is that the most fortunate thing were that we won our home game. If we hadn't won that one too, would have been in more dangerous situation, because what helps in this kind of situation is that at least don't lose your home games. And if you're able to pick some points away, then you are much safer. But if you lose your
Mali
home
is now
games,
ahead of us by 1 point.
Yes, they won one.
So if we go to their home, they will be wanting to win that game.
Yes, they'll be wanting to win.
If they win that game, they go to 7 and we remain at 3.
3. And that makes things very, very, very serious for
Comoros have stolen the start.
Yes, they have.
What's their next game?
Their next game, I think they'll be playing Madagascar. They've played Central African Republic. Yes, and they beat Central Africa, so we will play Madagascar.
And they haven't played Chad?
They haven't played Chad.
Most likely they'll win that too, given how the table is looking like.
But Madagascar will also be a tough opponent for them. They're also a very good side.
Yeah, but they can afford to lose. They have 6 points. Madagascar has what, 3 points?
3 points.
So then, okay.
So that's the situation. so far. So the hit is on Chris Hughton again. This has been his start so far since he came to the Blackstars.
He played 9 games, conceded 10 goals.
Conceded 10, scored 8
goals. He's won
4 games.
And lost only 1.
And lost 3.
I thought he's unbeaten.
That's in competitive games.
Like how?
He
so
lost
if friendly,
in competitive games. Added friendlies. The competitive games, the loss today is his first lose in competitive games. But if you add the friendly games,
he's lost
yes, you add the Mexico and US
his win percentage is 44.
44.4. And his loss is 33.3 and draw 22.2. So the situation now is always going to, should we take him to the AFCON? Because his contract ends after the AFCON. That's when his contract will end.
So that's end of January?
End of February. The AFCON ends in February.
But if you sack him now, you owe him.
You owe him.
So you want him to go February after AFCON, you can say goodbye.
If we are willing to take that risk, because people are saying he's not shown enough.
To win the AFCON?
Yes.
But this team that we are showing, can he win AFCON? Which department of the game are we strong?
Are we strong?
Yeah, maybe goalkeeping a little bit. From what I saw today, a bit of a good. I like Gideon Mensah though. I mean, that cross he supplied for the goal, it reminded me of
yes, I don't know if we can see that goal.
Patrice Evra, Patrice Evra of Manchester United.
Madagascar.
Those of you who are much older, you remember the German left back. His name is Paul Breitner. He played for Germany in the World Cup in 1982. Paul Breitner was one of the best left backs of the day. I was very small, but I remember him because my parents were excited about Paul Breitner. My father and his friends used to talk about Paul Breitner. And now when I grew up, Kwesi Appiah also had that kind of thing, the way Gideon Mensah plays the left back. I think that was a super cross. Yeah. Can we see that goal, the Ghana goal against
Madagascar and Comoros?
Madagascar. We'll talk over the video. Yeah, it was 95?
That's 95.
Yeah. There you go. So that's, 95. I mean, Gideon Mensah has shown. So Baba Rahman doesn't play anymore?
He still plays football, but he doesn't come to the national team.
Yeah, so that's the ball coming through the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
To Gideon Mensah at the moment.
So Gideon has it. He sort of starts the move.
Yeah, he will pass it in and it will come back to him.
And then he runs to take
position. So keep your eye on the clock and see the minutes.
Oh, wow. That was good. That was a Patrice Evra.
On the stroke of the 5th minute.
Of the 95.
49. Yes.
That's like Patrice Evra. I think Gideon Mensah is a bright spot in the team.
And the roar in the stadium that they have never heard.
You were there.
It was massive. It was a huge relief for us.
How did people leave the stadium? In celebration?
Yes, people were happy. Especially because it was Inaki. People were waiting for that Inaki goal.
Yeah.
They were waiting, and Inaki played very well that day too. He played very well.
But today he didn't turn up well. Did he? Today, he had a begging chance that he should have headed home, didn't he?
Yes, he had a chance that he should have really scored, but he missed it. The first opportunity actually fell to Antoine Semenyo, about the 3rd minute in the goal or so. Antoine Semenyo, and he missed it. That was a very clear opportunity that he should have scored today. And if he had scored that goal, Ghana would have been a bit easier, had the game easier. But we missed a lot of chances today.
Including Jordan's header.
Yes. Yeah, those were the 3 people who missed a lot of chances today. Jordan, Antoine Semenyo, and Inaki Williams.
I see the Super Eagles are struggling too all over the place.
Yes. They also have 2 points from 2 games. Out of 6 points, they have 2 points. They were very lucky that South Africa couldn't also win their game today. South Africa would have also gone 6 points, but South Africa lost to Rwanda by 2 goals.
Rwanda?
Yes.
Beat South Africa?
Yes.
In Kigali?
Yes.
Oh,
by 2 goals to 0.
Was Paul Kagame in the stadium? That's going to be massive. Kigali is going to turn upside down. They beat South Africa?
Yes, so that group has also been thrown wide open because of that result. If South Africa had won, they would have also had a huge advantage for winning their 2 games.
But did Rwanda lose their first game?
Rwanda drew their first game, so they have 4 points.
So they are better points than South Africa then?
Yes.
And better than Nigeria too?
Nigeria, yes.
So they may be topping the group?
Yes, they are topping the group at the moment.
Rwanda is?
Rwanda.
Wow.
Yes, so there are a lot of minnows who are coming up wide now. If you see the results, even this evening, Togo held Senegal to a 0-0 draw.
With Sadio Mane in?
Yes. And I think it was even played at a neutral ground.
Why? Because
stadiums in Togo were not approved. There are a lot of the teams are actually playing neutral grounds.
Because
teams like
FIFA
Gambia
doesn't approve their stadium.
Their stadium.
I see.
They don't have the standard stadium to host such matches.
So the World Cup qualifier.
Yes. Even in Ghana, it's only Baba Yara that can hold. That was
Accra cannot.
Accra cannot.
Why?
Cape Coast cannot. They don't have the after checking the facilities, the pitches and the facilities, they saw it's not at the standard of holding such matches.
Why, scoreboard or what? Dressing room?
The pitch is also part. They check the dressing room too. Yes, it's also
the
part.
The Comoros pitch looks problematic.
Yes,
but it's passed the test?
That was what we were conversing about. That if you approve Comoros pitch but disqualify Cape Coast because there's no much difference between the Comoros pitch and the Cape Coast pitch. So that's another situation. But at the moment in Ghana, it's only Baba Yara that can hold a standard football game. So even Mediama, who are in Africa, and also Dreams FC, who are also playing the Confederation Cup, will all be using the Baba Yara Sports Stadium as their home ground. They chose Accra Sports Stadium and this team, but all were disqualified by CAF, and so now they will be using Baba Yara Sports Stadium. That's another concern. We don't have facilities at the moment, coupled with our bad performance. So these were the results that we had today. Burkina beat Ethiopia. So Rwanda beat South Africa over there. Lesotho drew with Benin. So Lesotho were the same team who drew with Nigeria in their first game in Nigeria. So they played 1-1 with Nigeria. So they have 2 points at the moment.
Botswana beat Guinea, interesting.
Yes. And Cape Verde beat Eswatini. Somalia lost to Uganda.
Tunisia beat Malawi only 1-0.
Tunisia beat Malawi 1-0. And South Sudan and Mauritania played a draw. Togo, Senegal 0-0. Mauritius, Angola to 0-0. Libya, Cameroon 1-1. Sao Tome.
Libya held Cameroon to a 1-1 draw.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Sao Tome and Principe and Namibia 0-2. Comoros beat Ghana. Morocco beat Tanzania. And Niger also beat Zambia. So these are the results that we had today. So this was the starting lineup for our first game. Our first game. So you realize in our first game in the midfield, we used Abdul Samed and Baba, who are two defensive midfielders, because Thomas Partey was not around. And a lot of people found it problematic because if Thomas is not around, these two are defensive midfielders. They are not creators. They are not creative players who can create a lot of chances. So it caused problem for us in the first game where we were not creating enough chances. We couldn't progress the ball into the opponent's half. So the Madagascar.
But Kudus can create chances. He's a ball player.
Kudus is more of a ball holder than a creator. He's not too much of a creator.
Okay.
Even if he creates for himself to score. Like he scores goals by himself. But he's not someone you can rely on to create chances consistently. So this caused the problem in the first half. So in the second half,
So we're lacking the role of a number 8.
Yes.
No
and
number
a creative,
8
no number 8.
Kudus, you put him at 10.
At 10.
Okay.
So in the second half, he switched. He made changes and took out Baba Idrisu and brought in Majid Ashimeru, who is also a very good creator.
He did well.
And he came in and the game completely changed in the second half, and we started dominating and started creating chances until we were able to score. So many people were thinking that going into this game, since that worked for you, he was going to maintain that.
To start with that.
Unfortunately, he went and he maintained the Baba Idrisu and the Abdul Samed combination again in midfield.
He's been attacked for that on social media.
Yes.
Many people are criticizing him.
Yes, because if it worked for you in the second half,
there was no reason why he should start the old lineup again. Because
these two are not creatives at all. They are players that you use them in a situation where maybe you are playing a low block, a team who is very good at attacking, and you want to defend very well. So you are playing a low block. That's where you have two defensive midfielders, really. So you use two defensive midfielders, a game against Comoros, who you are expected to score against. It became very problematic. So even in the second half, he now had to take out Samed and bring Ashimeru in again, and it was too late. That was one of the problems of Chris Hughton. He always grinds out results. And in football, when you are always relying on grinding out results, there is a day that you are not going to be lucky enough to be able to get that result. Because you watch all his matches against Angola in Kumasi, the same thing happened. Angola scored first. We equalized, and we had to score a last-minute goal again by Antoine Semenyo in order to be able to get a 3 point there. We went to Angola. Angola scored us first. Then we were able to equalize back and get a 1-1. And then in Madagascar to the same thing, he had to grind out the result. And so you go to this thing, you're expecting that you'll be able to grind out the result. It will not always work that way for you. It will work 1-2, but it will always not work that way for you.
So the Blackstars have established a pattern of play.
That's the criticism about him, that he's been in the team for a very long time. He even went to the World Cup with them. But we still don't see anything new that he has brought into the team. The team is not playing differently from the way before he came. And that's the main criticism that many people think he's not doing well enough for the team. Because as a coach, when you come in, at least we should see that there's a difference in play. And one thing too is that there's no call-up, there's no player that you say that this is a Chris Hughton call-up. Like this is a player that Chris Hughton himself have gone out to scout and brought into the team. Someone like Kwesi Appiah was credited with scouting a lot of players and bringing them into the Blackstars. But we've not seen that with Chris Hughton. All the players that he mostly calls up are call-ups that were previously done by Otoado and Milovan Rahivac. Those are mainly the call-ups. We've not seen any different player who has been scouted and brought in. And many also complain that the quality is not good. So if the quality is not good, Why are we not expanding our scouting team enough to be able to bring in more talent into the team? That too has not been done. And so we still have the same players who we are always recycling and managing. And it's not working, but we are still doing it. We are still doing the same thing. It's very pathetic.
Hopefully, we'll get on. Let's do the last round of text messages and then we'll leave it here. It's past 11 o'clock. Thank you, Ibrahim. Is there something else?
Yeah, the health walk.
Your health walk. Yeah,
yes,
talk about it.
Yes. So we're having a health walk. 360 business health walk.
24th December.
Yes, this is 24th December.
Christmas Eve.
Yes, in Ashaman. So this is our 5th edition. Last year's edition, this was it.
That's massive.
Yes.
Oh, that's massive.
Yes. So we're asking anyone who wants to support.
To donate?
Yes, to support to us.
To give you a coffee juice or something.
Of course, we'll be very happy
and
with
water.
that. And water and beverages and all that.
Okay, we'll deal with it. We'll talk about this again on Thursday.
Okay.